view and execute the program below. Provide any technical comments pre-run and post-run in a task manager perspective. Take note that you need to run the code below via Notepad platform exam, Apache and browser as to display the output. Okay, so you already have the knowledge by right how to run this code. And then you see there are two programs. One is .php, sdt1.php. Another one is sdt2.php. Okay, so this is not an image, right? I can highlight. Okay, so let me explain about the codes. All right. So, like I said, understanding codes. If you understand the codes, is a kind of bonus to you because you don't have to do a lot of learnings, independent learnings, to understand how the syntax works. But you must have the basic programmings. Then any language you can go for understanding. You know, you can always consult with other. You can always hire someone who are good in PHP and then consulting them about those things. You know. Anyhow, if you have that, you know, it will be a very extremely cost saving, something like that, right? As a tester. So it's a bonus. So we need to understand each of the lines of the code. So we don't say that as a tester, right? When especially when you become a reviewer or an author, all right? So, but with some helps, I mean, like, it's fine not to understand certain things, but you can always run the programs, right? But let's say, for example, if you try to understand the theory of the codes, you see manually, analyze it manually, but yet you are starting not to understand that. So you want to run the programs. Then that means you want to jump to dynamics. That's it, right? That's normal. Okay. So look at here, this is HTML. I save it as .php, doesn't matter. But if you have PHP, you save as .html, it's going to be a problem. PHP is dominant, right? So if you have PHP embedded with HTML, that's fine also, right? Okay, what happened here? This is the HTML text, and then I have a form here. Form means that we are creating a text box to not text box. We are creating a piece of paper to ask someone to input something. What create the text box is this one. So if you delete this one, text box is not there. If you delete this one, button is not there. Okay, so what is the input type? I put text. That means it's visible. If you put password, it's not going to be visible. You can try that. And then the name is input. It could be anything. You can put Papa, Mama, Daddy, for example. Just joking. But yes, you can put that. Right? So I purposely use those terms is because just to make you remember. You can use ha ha, he he here. It could be anything. So and then value type summary is not could be anything. Text is not could be anything. But value could be anything. It's just like a placeholder. Value is a it's if you put value in these input types, you add another one after the name input. Name is equal to input. You put value is equal to compute. So the compute will be act as a data in the text box. But if you put placeholder, it will add like a data, but it's not a data. It's just to tell you something. For example, if you see any in the text box, it says that write your first name here. So it's not a data, it's just to tell you something. But we're not going to go to that extent, right? So we have this text box, we have this input, okay? And then we have in the forms, we have method is post. So that means we are sending the data via not via URL. So you can't see things pass via URL. Not unlike that. And then we have sdt2.php. That means it goes to sdt2.php. These actions, guys, this is basically the interface to sdt2.php. Okay. Right. And then we have this form. This is a closed tag. This is optional. Okay. So what happened is in this sdt1.php, there's a text box as the input. So if you click that, it sends the data to sdt.php. That's it, via post, right? So what happened is in sdt2.php, right? They check if else, right? So do we have if, okay, and then we have else. So else we don't have conditions. This is not a condition, right? This is a statement. So we simply have, okay, inside this bracket, inside this is the conditions. We check if the text box is empty or not. If not empty, we do this. All right. If not empty is false, that means it's empty, right? Kind of confusing sometimes. Not empty means there is something, but if not empty is false, there is empty. So it goes to else. It says no data inserted. Okay, right? Okay, so else it goes to here, and whatever it is, it goes back to sdt1.php for 1 second. This is the key. What we wanted to highlight here is what is these things basically, right? So when we look at the statements, guys, okay, inside the curly braces, which is this one, okay, so we look at the most right hand side, which is this one, because we have the assignment, right? So it's assigned to random 09, 0 to 9, that means a random number of 0, 9 will be generated. And then we have a semicolon after that, and then we have equal to sign W. So that means we have two lines. We have two lines in these statements. Which one is the first line? Is this one? This one is the first line, and this is the second line. So let's not to look at the second line. Now we wanted to see how the first line works. So in the first line, we have the most right hand side because we have this equal, this equal. So this is the most right hand side, which is random 0 to 9. And then on the left hand side is this one. Okay, right? So what happened in here, right? What happened in here? We have, okay, let me write in the chat box. We have these functions. Let me break it. RNB with no argument. And then we have string length to calculate the input length. Okay, and that's it. This is the functions that we have. String length. So you can see, right? String length is inside random. Okay, so random is 0. 0 from, and then you have strlen. This is how these things looks like, roughly. Okay, so string length inside random. So what happened is, okay, I look at some of them read from okay, when you see the equals, some of them start from here, but I just love to see the most right hand side, and I see here, right? So I try to look at, okay, this $W is basically, the structure is like this. This is array. This is array forms. So inside that square brackets, you got something, you know, you got things inside, which is, if you see the brackets here, the closed square brackets, the open square brackets, and then inside the square brackets, you got this. Okay. Inside square brackets, you got this. Okay. So what happened is, then we started to see random RND, and then the open brackets. Just now it's the square brackets, but there now is the normal brackets, right? So in the random, we got this. So RND, if you see, we have two arguments. This is also RND with a separated by the comma. So the first argument is this one. A second argument is this one. So that means we are expecting that this RND is basically consists of numbers, right? So hold on a second. String length until, okay, this one. Oh, because the brackets, the closed brackets after -1 is a pair to the brackets after RAND and before 0, which is this one, is the pair to this, right? That's right. So let's highlight these things first. Back onto negative. So what happened in here? So $ underscore post input, okay, which is this one. So now I started to look at this right hand side. Okay, so what happened is, okay, we have a presence. Oh, it's a array. That means if, let's say for example, is $w is ABC. Okay, if we set $w 1, that means we are talking about positions B 0, 1, 2 for ABC respectively. Okay, I will come to that later on. Okay, so now we are here, $ post input. All right, so which is for example ABC. All right, so and then we store in $w. So this $w hold ABC for now. Okay, so so this string len now holding of it's because inside here now is ABC, the value. So string length calculate ABC. So 3. So here is 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So we got RND 0/2. So yi minus 1, okay, yi minus 1 is because index starts from 0. So if you have 3, so it's 2, 0, 1, 2. Why I'm saying I is because this is my own algorithms. So if you find in any Google Scholar, this is mine, right? So if you want to take this, you have to cite it by names. Okay, so this is my own algo. Okay, wait, I try to understand Minamoto's questions. Is $w initiated as an array automatically when you add string? Yes, yes. You means that if you assign $w, okay, yes, then of course that will be considered as an array. And even if you have example ABC is also already an array in a context of PHP. Okay, right. So now where are we? Okay, we are here, right? Uh, I confuse myself with my own algo. Okay, so we have 0 and 2, right? So random number will be generated from 0 and 2. Is because okay, look at carefully in the chat box. Why random number 0 to 2 is because it is going to be like this. Now in the square bracket is maybe on the first run is 1. Maybe on the second run is 1 also, doesn't matter. And on the third run is 2. So there cannot be 3 because I already put a limit 0 until 2. But if you don't have -1, so it will be 3, for example. And it's going to be offset issues because it's only ABC. There's no another 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. No, because it starts from 0. That's what I mean. That's why I put -1. Okay, it's very simple once it's completed. But to think how to create this simple algo, sometimes it takes time, Okay, even it's simple, but if it is your own idea, right, that will be good, right? Okay, so now what happened is, well, we know. Okay, lost. Okay, here. Okay, because I changed the screens and started to lost. So 0, 2, right? So let's have example $W, $W 2. So it refers to this, which is this one. Sorry, let's take a new number. $W0, the random number is 0. So it refers to, again, now we have this. Sorry, guys. assigned by random 0 to 9. Let's have example assigned by 8. So this line, this line, the bolded line means that the value of 8 is assigned to $W that holds ABC, but with index 0 to replace the index 0. You only replace. So you, if you don't have the, if you just have $W assigned by 8 is, oh sorry, typo. Okay, sorry. Okay, if you just have this, if $W is ABC, overwrite it by 8. Okay, good. But now $W 0 overwrite it by 8. Okay, so what happened in the ABC position 0 is A, so it becomes ABC. It's random, something like manipulations of data, something like this is leads to encryptions and all that, blah blah blah. So that's why it's just a matter of computing things. Okay, exactly, correct. There are a lot of things. Okay, so remember, if you take this, you have to cite it, my name. All right. Okay. Okay. One thing is, I mean, like, it's always good, to teach students with our own works. Okay. Um, but it's a choice. It doesn't matter as long as we can deliver. All right. So come back to here, ABC. So it's an ABC, and V equal $W is now is 8BC. That's it. But what if, right? Okay. So if we remove W here, so that means, guys, we don't assign anything to W. So W here is not a value, but simply a something is not is a value, but being assigned by something. All right. And here is going to be a conversion because echo $sign W is now simply an array. So you cannot print that. But we don't go to that extent, right? Okay. So let me just share with you with the screen. So how we run the things in case, right? Okay. So what I did is I just simply start my exam. I don't use any SQL. So I'm just started my exam. So it's already started now. Of green to a yellow to green, and then I open Notepad 1. Okay. So I just copy the codes. I do plagiarism to myself. I copy my own codes. Okay, but doesn't matter. sdt1.php is already there, just replaced. And then I take a second code. I just copy this. But if you take from PowerPoint, be careful because the quotations might not be right format. Okay. So what I did, I just simply write localhost. It's just now you see those marking.phps, right? So actually, I'm in the midst of developing my own system so that can be easy to mark, but we cannot really rely on that. Okay, so this is the program text box. So if you don't put anything, no data inserted. But if you put value, ABC, is C, so it goes back. ABC, A0BC, ABC, A90. Right? So this is the program. So you have to do that. You have to do these dynamic things. Static and dynamic, it comes together. So if you see the mind maps, I mean, like up to week 7, you started to understand that when you see the mind maps, it looks like it's just we two are separate things. But when you do it, it's just like things one go, but it's still separate. So That's what I'm trying to say. It's very hard to tell that to students, right? So now we look back. Okay, we look back. So we look back on the answers. Post-run, the system is light, but algorithm is quite complicated due to two randomized functionalities. Display of manipulated strings is quite a while and before redirected. Well, basically, this is descriptions of the complexities. Maybe someone says it's fine, maybe someone says it's not fine. It's up to them. So any relevant statements, it's fine. Okay. I don't understand answers for. Oh, okay, right. The thing is, for the pre-run, as analyzed, is not really important information here. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, but when we see as a tester, when we see the course, we always wanted, we always wanted to make the code simple. So we always wanted to remove something. So when we see the codes, we always start with variables like why do we need to assign this $sign underscore post input into $sign W? Why we don't just remove this is also fine, but it will be a different meanings. Because if you remove this, okay, if you remove the one that I highlighted now, imagine if you remove that, okay, so this one will not have a value here. So it's going to be a problem then. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. So it doesn't mean it is not always that what we are suggesting is right as a tester, but sometimes we see that, for example, we wanted to reduce the codes, but however, if $sign W is removed, then it will cause. So that means we agree with the coach. It's not necessary that the coach must be something wrong with that. Okay. Pre-run comment. I mean, like, yes, it could be an assumption, but it's not assumptions in terms of the coach. For example, I have in here. It's just a suggestion. It's just a before you run, what's your comment? That's all. Any comments is fine. Okay. I mean, like the questions is asking you to see before you run, what is your comment about codes? It could be anything. Could be anything. Okay. Okay. Right. So now I'm gonna go very quick one. It's 150, right? This one, I guess.